everybody. Right, a bit of a what's it start there? A bit of an aborted start there, shall we say? But yeah, we are doing it now. Yes, we are doing it. So here we are. Yeah, cool. So hopefully it will now work. We'll say. As I was saying, this is series 17. Crikey, can you believe it? Episode number 1. Sunday the 30th of March, 2025. And loads of people there in the chat, as you can see. If you're watching us on a smart TV or something, of course, we put the chat up there because you can't see the normal YouTube chat. Although we have broadcast this over YouTube, at least for now, because changes are coming to YouTube. So we might end up finding a new home somewhere, but I will let you know about that as it happens. Right. So what has everybody been saying in the chat? I've got a copy of it here that I can look at. Who have we got with us? We've got Wesley is with us. Christopher is with us. Christopher says he's been riding and filming the last loco hauled NSET trains on the, oh god, these are Australian place names. Is it Wamambool line? It says he sent a photo, so we'll have a look for that in a minute. Fat Hobbit is with us. Hi Fat Hobbit. Keith is with us. Hi Keith. It says looking forward to the live stream after a bit of a gap. Hope your procedure went well, Andy. Not had any procedures, Keith. I'm just still sort of sat here. Jean is with us. Says hello. Haven't tuned in for a while. Hope all is well with you. It is. Thank you. Yeah, it's fine. Keith is with us. Fattlebit says he's got his pineapple pizza at the ready, and Keith says it's a margarita for him. A bit plain that, Keith. I've had a meat feast pizza. That's where I've been. That's why I'm a bit late. I had a meat feast pizza. Jean says for me it's a Cinnabon from Too Good to Go. Dominic says pineapple pizza is nice. Hi Dominic. This is divisive, isn't it? Pineapple pizza. Who likes pineapple pizza? Yeah, don't all put your hands up at once. I was counting. Yeah. Yeah, about half of you. Right, I'm just going through the chat. There's a bit of a backlog on it. Wesley says, Dominic, did you become a Hubnut member? I've met him, Hubnut. Yeah. Yeah, I met him in a service station with Foxanne, the Reliant Fox car that he's got, or that he had. I think he might have sold it now. But yeah, I met him in some services, sort of out Birmingham way, I think it was. It'll be a couple of years back now. But yeah. So hello, Hubnut, if you're out there. Yeah. Right. Dominic says Ian's old car drives are always interesting. Not heard of that one. Gambo is here. Hi Gambo. Are you delivering tonight, Gambo? Wesley says maybe Andy has forgot to put the clocks forward an hour. I nearly did. I very nearly did. Gambo says, "Hi troops, I'm still not getting notified, but I deleted Yahoo from my phone and it's mucked up all my settings and contacts." Yeah, as YouTubers say, hit the subscribe and the notification thing. What YouTube does do is it unsubscribes people who are subscribed. It quietly unsubscribes a lot of people who are subscribed. Other YouTubers will tell you this as well. So just double check that you are indeed subscribed to us here, and also hit the notification bell, as they say. It drives me mad when they keep going on about that. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. It drives me absolutely berserk when people keep going on about that, which is why I don't do it. But yeah, just do make sure you are still subscribed. And also, there should be no internal ads in this video. If there are any internal ads, I want to know about it. Andy@callpress.net. That's ANDY@CALLPRESS.net. I want to know about it if there are any internal ads. You'll have seen some when you came onto the stream, and you might see some at the end, but there should not be any in the middle. If there are any in the middle, I want to know about it. Andy@callpress.net. Right. Keith says, "I didn't know you had hamsters, Andy." Only in a wheel to power the stream, Keith. Yeah, I hire them to power this computer on a Sunday night. Dominic says, "I think the music is playing over you, Andy." Yes, it was, Dominic. Well spotted. Can't hear you, Andy. Yeah. Yeah. Right. I think we've cracked it. Gambo says, "No, he's not delivering tonight. He finished earlier." So yeah, so that's it. So all present and cracked. It'd be easy to say who's not here tonight. I've never seen so many things on a chat, even before we start. But yeah, nice to see you all anyway. After our short break for a few weeks, we're back. We're back now. At least for a few weeks, we are back to normal service now at 7 p.m. Now it's lighter in the evening. We pushed the show back a little bit later because I figure people will be wanting to do stuff outside in the garden and stuff. Now it's summer again, officially summer, isn't it now? British summertime we're on now. Gumbo said, "So not had any ads when you've been live, only on my mobile or laptop at the start, sometimes." Yeah, that's how it should be, Gumbo. That's how it should be. YouTube are trying to make us run mid-roll ads, but I have opted out of it, much to their dismay, because I hate mid-roll ads, because people just take the piss with the mid-roll ads, don't they? They really do. How you watch YouTube when you've not got an ad blocker? I mean, on my phone I have an ad blocker, on my computer I have an ad blocker, but I watch YouTube at night sometimes on a smart TV, and I can't get an ad blocker that works on a smart TV, and the ads are ridiculous. It's like every minute or every 2 minutes ads. It's crazy. What I do now, when an ad comes up on a YouTube video, I move away from that video and go watch something else. And if everybody does that, do not accept the ads in the middle of videos. If you get a couple of minutes into a video and an ad pops up, don't think, "Oh, I'll suffer the ad and watch the video." No, go and watch something else, because then hopefully YouTube will realise and will limit the amount of ads. On television, there are rules as to how many adverts there can be, and I think the same rule should apply to YouTube. Basically 3 minutes every 15 or 20 minutes or so. No more than that. But YouTube plays way more. Um, Christopher says he's watching on a TV and doing chat on his laptop. Dominic's bought a car, he says. A Jaguar X-Type, which is not the typical first car. Insurance is surprisingly cheap compared to the recommended first cars. What is a Jaguar X-Type? Not really upon my car, so I'll Google it in a minute. It says, just swapped the battery earlier today and I had a good look through the Haynes manual. Yeah, now I'll tell you, Dominic, do not use the Haynes manual. They make even the most simple thing really, really complicated. Yeah, you're better off not to use the Haynes manual and just use your common sense instead. Wesley says there's a red wall phone on eBay at the moment. Can't work out if there's ivory showing through, though, due to its reflections. I don't think it'll be a red wall phone in actual fact, Wesley. I'm still not sure red wall phones ever existed. What is a Jaguar X-Type? I'm curious now as to what a Jaguar X-Type is. Let's see if I can open a window and have a look. Oh, it's one of those. Yes, I see what a Jaguar X-Type is now. It's not a classic Jaguar. It's a modern looking sort of Jaguar. Yeah. Yeah, it's a modern Jaguar, isn't it? Yeah. Yes. Gambo says, I can skip ads by pausing the ad and hitting the I part, and it sometimes lets me skip the ad as irrelevant, inappropriate, or back to the video. What are you watching on then, Gambo, to do that? Dominic says, Jaguar X-Type is definitely not a Mondeo, but it does use a lot of Mondeo parts. Right, I bet Jaguar don't want you to know that. I bet they don't want you to know it's made out of bits of a Ford Mondeo. Wesley says there were definitely red wall phones. Check the forum for mine. Different mould marks from the ones Brick Phone used to sell. Yes, but is it the ones that used to be sold from a guy in Chatteris in Cambridgeshire before Brick Phone came along? Because there was somebody else making phone cases and made pink ones and all sorts of things, and they were not, as far as I know, the same moulds that Brick Phone uses. So was it made by him? That's the question. Gambo says, if it's a red phone, I think I've seen it also on Freebay. Also has brought 2 red and black war phones 2 weeks ago from the same seller. Right, so Gambo, you bought a red war phone from the same seller that's got another red war phone. That sounds sus. Dominic says, I could definitely see the GPO needing to make red war phones for emergency fire station use. Yeah, nobody quite knows if they did though, Dominic. This is a question as to whether or not they did. Some people say they did, but other people say in a fire station the phone was grey, but it had a red dial bezel on it. And if you think about it, that makes sense, because a red dial bezel is a standard part from a desk phone, isn't it? So in fire stations, a lot of them were grey but with red dial bezels, and I don't know if they had a red handset as well, but they certainly had red dial bezels. A lot of these grey ones in fire stations, but whether they did actually make red ones as well as, I don't know. But if they did, why did they not send a red one to every fire station? Why did they bother with the grey ones? Gambo says, I watch vids via my Sky Q box, smart TV and mobile. So Gambo's watching on a Skybox. If you want to try and stop the ads in the way that he said. Where it says all the cases come from the same moles, EK code, GPO code, KKA. Did the ones that were made years ago that were sold from the guy in Chatteris come from there as well though, Wesley? Because they did silver ones and pink ones and blue ones, bright blue and all sorts. You know, they really did do all sorts. Is that the same molds as Brick Phone is now using? I don't think it is. I think it's a different set of molds that survived. Gambo says the phone he's got, it's a red handset on a black body. And it says, and on one black body, it has 2 lights. Christopher says, 741, 711 without the dials. Were they used on the railways in the UK? That's a good question, Christopher. I don't know, but I don't think so. I know British Rail had later push button phones that were sort of chocolatey brown colour. But I don't know what British Rail had a 700 series. They tended to keep very old phones in signal boxes and things, so I don't actually know of any 700s that came from a signal. Oh, I did buy a black 700 series quite a long time ago that I was told came off the railway, out of the signal box or out of the station, but it was just like a standard desk phone with an alphanumeric bezel on it, and it was a black one, and I was told that came off the railways, but there's nothing to say it definitely did come off the railways. It's just what I was told by the guy who sold it to me. Dominic says, recently I saw some internal Network Rail PR material on the refit of Cambridge signal box. There was a photo of the relay room with a grey GEC war phone clone in it. Quite late for a 741 style phone, as I think the signal box at Cambridge opened in the mid-1980s. Probably in a skip now, sadly. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that, because cloned phones just with the numbered bezel on them, as a war phone, are very rare. That doesn't normally happen as a war phone, because the private phones, which the clone phones are, tended to be done for cheapness, and so they tended to use a desk phone and turn it the other way up, and mount that on the wall, as you've seen me do with things on here previously. So that's what they tended to use. So to actually use a proper war phone, I am quite surprised at that. But they did everything for cheapness when it was private telephones and things. They did do it all for cheapness on the railways back then. Talking of 700 series phones, I've been sent something. Where have I put it? I received a package from Arthur. Now, regular viewers of this channel will know that we often receive packages from Arthur. For ages and ages and ages, they were mystery packages because I didn't know who sent them. But it was later revealed to be Arthur, who pops up in the chat on here occasionally. But normally, I think he watches on a TV or something, so we can't use the chat. So if you are watching tonight, hello Arthur, and thank you for this package. Now, I didn't know he was sending this because he had got in touch with me and told me he said, "Do you want it?" he said first, for reasons that you will see in a moment. Because this is what he sent. Now I don't want you to panic when you see this, because I did know this was like this. I did know. But you're going to see this and go, "Oh my God, what's happened to that?" So here we are. You see, it's a 706 phone, no handset on it, but actually the no handset is the least of its problems. It's sectioned itself. Yeah, we've got all sorts of bits of plastic, you see, like that, and like that, and like that, and like that, mainly. And then we've got handset. So I didn't know it was in this state, because the reason Arthur sent it to me is because the one bit that's not broken is this front bit down here. You see, that is kind of in one piece, particularly that corner there, because I've got another one here where that corner, you see, is missing. Right? So Arthur said maybe you could cut a bit off this case on this one that I'm sending you and sort of graft it into this one. But I'm not sure how. You'd have to make some sort of a jig so you could cut both phone cases in exactly the same place. But what I'm wondering now is whether Arthur has got all the bits here to put this case back together. So them bits go like that, you see. That bit. It's the back of the top somehow. I'm just looking what we. So I don't think we actually have got all of the bits. Oh, that's all one side. Yeah, you see? That's 3 pieces. It's all one side. And then that is bit that goes there, somehow like that. Now I can see there are little tiny bits missing. So can I piece this case back together because there are no missing parts? Answer is no. There are some little bits missing, and that's normally what happens when they break. People save the big bits but sometimes miss the little tiny bits that are broken off. So I can't piece this one back together, because when I pieced all this back together there will still be missing bits, like there's a missing front corner on the other one. So what I can try and do is rebuild that front corner on the other one. So that is going to be one for a future video, let's say. So thank you, Arthur, for sending that, and we will get right on it, as they say, and see what we can do. Also, I assume this one came from Arthur, arriving recently, as this. Now you may remember we've also got one of these that came, and we found a membrane in the keypad was missing on this one. This one's got a little membrane in the keypad missing. So this one's rocked up, and this one I think maybe a little bit more complete. I'm going to hold it up because I've not got any desk space here today. But if I can unclip this, yeah, I can do it. So there's the keypad that had the missing membrane on the other one. So it looks like on this one it might be intact on this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and plug in this in and see if it works. So let me just got to figure out what that is, what number that is. 20. Right. That's on 20 then. So if I unplug that in. Does this phone work? It seems like it might. Right, let's try dialing a number on it. Try again. Yeah, it works, this phone. So what I've got to do with this one is put it back together. Because this one does actually work. So, yeah. So basically I'll put this Viscount back together. Of course this one works. So, if it'll go back together, and then we should be able to make at least one good one out of the two. So, there we have the Viscount. Right, sorry I'm doing this all not in vision today. I've not got much room here. There's just got so much stuff arrived recently and stuff. If you remember the last show that we did was the special from Wales with Andrew. Sorry about the terrible picture quality on that, but I had to use YouTube's own app to do the stream, and YouTube's own app is hopeless. It really is. So terribly sorry about the absolutely shockingly poor picture quality on that. But you got the gist of it, didn't you? Of what we were doing down there. And I did come back with a car full of telephones from Andrew. So thanks to Andrew out there in Wales for donating a second batch of telephones, because he donated a load months before. So come the day I managed to open my museum, which I've long been planning to do, they will be in there, which will be very nice. But quite how we're going to get that off the ground, I do not know. Mainly it's finding a location that's hard, because there's just no property around that you can rent at a reasonable price or anything at the moment. Wesley says, going back to the telephone molds, it says there's only one source of injection molds. So perhaps they all come out of the same mold then. Christopher says, I know 741 and 711s without dials were used on the Australian railways, because I've seen proof of one used in Flinders Street Station, and I do have a GEC 711 wall phone off the Australian railways. So they use them in Australia, but did they use them in Britain? I don't know. It's probably likely that they did, but I can't say that I've actually seen any in situ in photos or anything to prove it. Wesley says, Tele 711 and Tele 711 CBs were available in red from 0461. do you know that, Wesley? I'm interested. That looks like you've looked that up in some official paperwork or something. Where does that information come from? I'm intrigued. Dominic says, I'd almost be tempted to make it an even section cut on that phone. Yeah, to actually make a properly sectioned phone of it. Yeah. Gambo says, sorry to change the tone, but have you heard about Maguette? No, I haven't, Gambo. Wesley says, I was just looking at my post on the forum and saw a response from him when I posted it last year. It occurred to me that we haven't seen him for a while. No, we haven't seen him for a while. It is a bit worrying, that. Yeah, Maguette, if you're out there, drop us a line or something. Let us know that you are well. If indeed you are, I hope you are. But yeah, of course, Maguette had his own YouTube channel as well, where he took phones to bits and stuff. So has he posted anything to that recently? Is the question. He hasn't, as far as I know, to. But yeah, he does have his own YouTube channel, Maguette. So has he posted anything on there? Is the question. Cause I quite simply don't know. But yeah. A quick Google might explain. I do hope I'm wrong, though. I fear he may not be okay. A quick Google might explain. I do hope I'm wrong, though. I've got no idea. I really haven't got any idea. Yeah. Right. Oh dear. Yeah, apparently. Right. Well, I know Maguette, as he was known to us, his name was actually Peter Bent, and I'm seeing a post from October the 5th, 2024 on a cactus growing forum, because he did have cacti, did our Maguette, and this post from this guy, it's bad news, I'm afraid. It says, sadly Peter Bent has passed away during a stay in hospital. These interesting cacti and succulents went way back, and he was a long-standing member of the BCSS and its predecessors. He had a particular fondness for the Mesems, is that supposed to be members, and had displayed many wonderful plants at the MSG events in Banstead over the years. It was at one of these events that he persuaded me to attend a North Surrey branch meeting, and from there my own interest in our wonderful world of plants reignited. Thank you, Peter, R.I.P. So it sounds like, unfortunately, our Maguette is no longer with us. So that's a bit of a that is a bit, well, it's a lot of a downer, because he was a big contributor to these shows and to the chat, as many of you will remember. But that does sound like that is what has happened there. Dominic says that's very sad. He was a real fountain of knowledge on all things telephone. Yeah, Gambo says, I'm afraid he's passed away. His last video was 9 months ago, and a friend posted R.I.P. Peter to it. Wesley says, I thought so, Gambo. His estate is in the Gazette. Passed away on the 20th of September, apparently. Gambo said, I would have said previously, but as I said earlier, I've lost contacts, etc. Yeah, no worries, Gambo. We've figured it out. Of course, because there's so many people on here, in the chat on here, people do pass away occasionally. Miguel is the second one I know of, who was a big time contributor on here and then passed away. Yeah, Miguel's the second one that I'm aware of. I mean, there may be others, but of course a lot of people watch these streams and don't take part in this chat. I mean, I spoke about Arthur today. It very rarely does he appear in the chat, but he almost always watches, because I get text messages and things from him. So there are lots of people who watch, many of whom probably who watched the first episodes all those years ago may no longer be with us. But yeah, it is very sad when it happens. But it does bring into question this thing about when we do shuffle off this mortal coil, what happens to all the stuff that we've spent a lifetime collecting? Where does it go? And this is why I really do want to set up a museum so it's got somewhere to go. I mean, there are people out there like Arthur and Andrew and one or two others who have basically given me stuff over the years and said, here you go, you look after it now, basically. And the more that happens, the more duty bound I feel to get this museum thing going. But of course, when I shove off, it needs to be up and running, so somebody else can take over the mantle. So I would encourage you all to have a think about this museum thing and how we might do it. Yeah, have a little think on it, and if you've got any ideas on how we might do it, like I say, get in touch at andy@cullpress.net, and we'll figure it out, because we do need to do something. Because I think I've got over 500 telephones here now that need a home. Not to mention all the other things. I mean, there's quite a big collection of vintage sewing machines, bus ticket machines, all sorts of things, and then there's just random things as well. Dominic says Jimmy Myers sadly passed away a few years ago. Yeah, he's the other one that I was thinking of, Dominic. Jimmy, when we first started doing these streams, Jimmy Myers was a massive contributor nearly every second message was Jimmy Myers. Yeah, and he passed away a few years ago. Wesley says, I'm afraid a lot of stuff ends up in landfill. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about, Wesley. That's what I'm trying to make not happen. Because as well as the things that are the collection, I mean, you've got umpteen clocks and all these telephones, there are other things that come my way. And one thing that's come my way recently is this. Now, I'm not going to blow it because it makes Thor go crazy. But I found this in a shed, basically. It's a long and complicated story, but we're clearing a relative's house out because she's had to go into a care home because she's getting on a bit, and we're clearing the house out because the house has got to be sold and that. She'll never go back. She's in a care home, and I went to clear the house out and found this in the shed in the garden, in a drawer in the shed in the garden. Now, I don't know if I can get this under a camera. I'm going to try and get this under a camera if I possibly can. Right, that's sort of it, I think. Right, which way am I going? This always confuses me. There it is, you see. Right, I never know quite which way to put this, but you see that? J. Hudson and Co. Birmingham.